nod, and we're going to give this back to Jaime, but we're going to focus on the differences and similarities between the Galaxy S6 Edge and the Galaxy S7 Edge. Last year's Galaxy S6 Edge looks like the S7 Edge's baby. That's because Samsung decided that this year the S7 Edge will be bigger. We're not sure whether they want to ditch the S6 Edge Plus, aka the S7 Edge Plus from this year's lineup, but what we do know is that we have a 5.5-inch display on the Galaxy S7 Edge compared to the 5.1-inch display of last year's model. We still have the same curvature. Granted, you will see that there's less of a bezel on this year's unit, and since we are here, we're going to take this opportunity to look at them from the side. I'm not sure if you will be able to tell, but this one's almost flush, while the Galaxy S7 Edge is a little bit rounded, so it has a better in-hand feel. Despite the fact that it's bigger, you'll like holding it more in your hand. Also on the back, you'll see the huge difference in the camera humps. The S6 on the left, this one, had a decent camera hump. Some did not like it, some others did not have anything against it, but apparently this year Samsung wanted to go all in and flatten it as much as they could. It's not completely flush, but it is not standing out the way it did last year. Same heart rate sensor, we have the flash on the back, and that's basically pretty much it. These phones are almost identical in terms of aspect, give or take the 5.5-inch display versus the 5.1-inch display, Quad HD resolution of both, Exynos 7420 octa-core on last year's model, Exynos 8890 on this year's model. Of course, some devices from some regions will get the Snapdragon 820, but that shouldn't be a problem. 4 GB versus 3 GB of RAM, 32 GB of storage, expandable this time around, versus the fixed amount of storage which you could have gotten on last year's model, 32, 64, and 128. We talked about the back cameras. Flipping back just once more, we have a 12 megapixel camera versus the 16 megapixel on last year's model, but we said this in previous videos, we'll say it again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because this time around we have bigger pixels, we have more light sensitivity on the sensor, and we have a brighter lens on the on the S7 this time around. f1.7 versus f1.9. Fingerprint scanner is also in its place beneath the home button, which is a little bit more squared this year than it was last year. It's just a little bit of aesthetical difference. You will not probably notice it. And the Samsung user interface as you know it and as you've grown to love it. It's the same song, it's a different melody though. A lot has changed and a lot has remained the same. We'll have to wait and see until we get this in a review lab so we can properly opine about it. But the initial first impressions are good. And that's pretty much it. We'll wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching.